Yo, what is up, Hazelwood community? Thank you so much for this opportunity for me to share with you all, parents, and we know that some educators are going to put their eyes on this as well. I am so elated, so excited. Anytime when I get an opportunity to have conversation and conduct training for parents, I just feel like this is a unique opportunity for us to basically open up the veil a little bit, allow parents to go beyond some of the jargon and the language that we often use as educators in our school systems and help them to understand what this stuff is all about so that since they are already the chief advocates in the lives of young people, of our students, we want you all parents to know what's up with some of these acronyms. I'm going to use some of that stuff in this conversation today. And really it's all about us presenting the stuff that we talk about in the school spaces in a way where you can feel fully invited into the conversation. So parents, as you all are watching this video, either live or by way of the playback, I invite you to lean in. Come on. I know that so many of us are to a point where we got straight all the way up, Zoom fatigue. But come on, I need you to lean in right now. I need you to wake up. I need you to stop playing with this thing because this is a unique opportunity for you to get some nuggets, to get some strategies, some tools that you can put in that toolbox. You understand? When it comes to you parenting in a digital world. So I want to go ahead and share my screen. And what I need to tell you all off the top is just go ahead and ignore all of these dang on tabs that I got open on my computer. Those tabs don't have anything to do with you. You understand? I'm doing me. Parents, I need you to do you and leave all of my tabs alone. Let me stop sharing for a moment because I just realized that I have not even introduced myself. Hey, you all, it is your friend Damian Howard, the adult SEL coach, SEL social and emotional learning coach, straight out of Chicago, Illinois. Let me say, I have 15 years of education experience, primarily working as a special education teacher. And I started to feel a few years ago, you all, that I have greater capacity inside of me, a unique voice and perspective that I can offer up to you, parents, and also teachers, so we are in a better place when it comes to cultivating our own character, so that we can support the character development of our young people. And I've been granted a unique opportunity today. I'm not going to take too long. I'm not going to take up too much of you all's time. But what I'm saying is, for the time that we do have, I need you fully engaged. I don't care if you are watching this playback. Even if you're not here live, come on, you all. I have the ability to articulate my points and have a conversation in a way where we can make this thing crack, even if it ain't live. Come on, let's make it crack, which means I need you to lean in. I need you to be fully present. I need you to give of yourself in these limited moments and minutes that we have today so that you can leave with some tools and strategies that you didn't have before you came here. Let me say this, parents, by way of my brief introduction, is that when I talk about myself as an adult social and emotional learning coach, the key thing that I'm always desirous to communicate is that social and emotional learning is not something that we get just so that we can give it to the kids. No, 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 no. Social and emotional learning is something that I am raising up today as we're talking about parenting in a digital world that we get so that we can live. You understand? It's not just about surviving, but we need parents who are thriving, because when you are in a place whereby you are thriving, where you're happy, when you are at peace, when you have greater fulfillment, when you're able to regulate your own emotions, guess what? You are then empowered, equipped, and enabled to show up in the lives of your young people, in the lives of your kids, and give them what it is that they need. Parents, but if we can be real with this thing, that's why I love the work that I do. I'm going to explain SEL in a moment, social and emotional learning. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Give me a second. But that's why I love the work. Because if we can be real with this thing today, oh, I'm talking to y'all like y'all here watching this thing live. If we can be real with this thing today, can I talk about it? Y'all know when we stressed out, when we got some stuff going on in our own lives that's impacting the way that we show up in our lived experiences, ultimately, for most of us, that stuff is going to show up in the way that we parent. We're going to be short-tempered. We're going to be quick-witted. We're going to be passive. We're going to be dismissive. And hold on. Our kids are in vulnerable states whereby they don't need us to be any of those things. They need us to be connecting. They need us to be relationally there. They need us to understand that they got some trauma that they're experiencing in this unique season, and they don't need us doing this. They need us doing this. Social and emotional learning, you all, to the extent of me using language to understand it myself, and then also to be able to talk to you about it, basically says this. Social says, yo, I want to get some tools and some strategies that helps me to relate to other people better. Emotional, what's that part talking about? Man, I want to get some strategies whereby I can look inside of my own self and check in and see, how is it that I'm doing emotionally? How am I doing in my own head space, in my own heart space, right? To be super reflective and have an ability to look inside and understand, yo, what's going on with me? Because when I have that ability to relate well to other people and that ability to be introspective and understand what's going on inside of me, then I can be proactive versus always being reactionary. And with that, I need a round of applause. Come on, because we're not playing with this thing today. What do I mean? Here's the point. If y'all was live, I probably wouldn't even be this turned up. So I'm glad I got to kind of record this so you can see the playback and see me in raw form. Here's the point. Y'all, too often we are showing up to life in a way whereby when we're, again, turned up, or when we're our most vocal selves or our most, impassioned selves, it is in reaction to stimuli that's happening outside of our body, right? What the psychologists call that is an external locus of control, which means that in certain moments we become puppets versus the puppeteers. That stuff happens, and then those things are now pulling our strings and controlling how we're going to show up, what type of attitude I have, what type of conversation, how I'm talking to people. External stimuli can control what we say, what we do, what we're thinking about. But it gets to a point when you learn how to relate better to other people and then check on yourself, see how you feeling inside of yourself, to be proactive, to say, you know what, I know Cray coming to my house later on today. Everybody know who Cray is in your family and in your situation. I know Cray is coming to my house later on. So right now, let me regulate my own self. Let me even start playing out different scenarios in my mind to say, if this happens, oh, come on, I'm gonna tap into some affirming thoughts for myself. I know that my mother-in-law oftentimes is telling me who I ain't gonna be, how I wasn't the one for her daughter, right? And we're gonna spend a whole Thanksgiving weekend with them. So I'm already at a point where as I'm playing out different scenarios to empower myself, that's the emotional part, to empower myself to be in full control. So no longer am I in a place of letting other people pull my strings and tee me off. No, yo, the internal locus of control says that I'm grabbing back control of my own life. I'm not going to be a puppet, but I'm the puppeteer that's pulling my own strings. Not again are you going to be able to get me to a point where I'm cussing everybody out. Not again are you going to be able to get me to the point where I'm throwing hands. No, come on. I'm over that because I have greater control. And that's what we want for parents. And in this space of social and emotional learning, I know it's a big old long introduction, but I want y'all to know what SEL is all about before we get into the conversation. In the space of social and emotional learning, y'all, it just helps us to regulate our own emotions, to relate better to other people so that we can live as the best versions of ourselves. Woo! That was the introduction. Now let me go ahead and share that screen again. And like I said, you all, come on, leave my tabs alone. My tabs are not messing with you, so don't mess with all of my tabs. All right. So for the Hazelwood community, the Hazelwood Parent University, what I am going to offer up today is a conversation that is centered around parenting in a digital world. So let's put that on here. Parenting in a digital world. Now, the reality of what's going on right now is that I'm typing this out live because I'm going to actually share this document with you all so that you can have access to the stuff that I'm talking about here into perpetuity, right? So after Damien is done talking about it, if you're wanting to go back and see what I talked about in written format, you will have this access to this particular document. So we already talked about adult SEL. We're wanting to get SEL, not just to give it, but get it in order to cultivate our own character so that we can live, so that we can thrive. And once more, the topic of discussion for today is for us to focus on parenting in a digital world. So here's the point. Within this digital world, in light of social unrest, in light of a health crisis, namely COVID-19 and this pandemic, in light of political unrest that we have been facing for such a long time as a nation, this digital reality that we're in right now is coming with a lot of stress and duress upon some of our kids. And if we be honest and real with it, it's causing some levels of stress and duress upon us as adults as well, right? So my whole thing is, how do I best position myself to be supportive of my kids and continue to stand up as an amazing, as a supportive, and as a connected parent in this climate that we currently find ourselves in? So my answer to that particular question that's applicable for all parents, but I know we want to put a unique spin and twist on this conversation today, focusing on young boys, and hopefully we get an opportunity to do that at the end. What I want to offer up you all is what I call the SEL Mentoring Method. So what the SEL Mentoring Method is basically it's a menu of strategies that you can utilize at any time to literally do social and emotional learning in your own house. And like I keep saying, SEL isn't something that we get to give, it's something that you get to live. So everything that I'm about to raise up right now as a part of the SEL Mentoring Method are strategies that, yes, you can implement and use to support your young people, but they're also strategies and tools that I want you to be able to use for the sake of your own emotional stabilization, for the sake of your own well-being, so that you can live and thrive as the best version of yourself. I just wanted to breathe a second so I can give y'all a second to breathe. You understand? So I can give you a second to just woosah. So I just wanted to breathe a second. When I say it's a menu of strategies, what is a menu? A menu means I can look at the list of things that are there and I can choose which one I want to use according to my appetite, according to my needs in that moment. So what I'm about to share right now isn't necessarily something that you have to do in any type of sequence or any type of order. Man, nah. These are things that once you live into them, just automatically you'll break into some of these behaviors and you will use some of these tools without even thinking about it. Now, what I want to share, one moment, please. What I want to share with you all is the fact that these strategies that I am offering up here are research-based strategies that have been proven to bring about academic and life success in the lives, in the space of kids who use them and get exposed to these strategies is going to help them to thrive. And these strategies also help us as adults to thrive. So I just want to make it very clear that these are not strategies that I am raising up that are not steeped or based in anything else. I looked at the field of social and emotional learning for years. I looked at the field of mentoring, and these strategies consistently showed up in those areas that are killing it when it comes to SEL and mentoring. All right, so the first strategy that is going to be raised up today, you all, is mindfulness. Mindfulness. So mindfulness strategies can be implemented basically to ground yourself, to get to a more stable place. And in fact, when I get to speaking about mindfulness, I love to actually give an example of a mindfulness strategy and literally do this with you all. And this actually is the reason, I don't know what's happening with my voice right now, you all, but bear with me. Hopefully it sustains at least while we're meeting here. But this practice that we are going to do, you hear me saying that word we, which means that I'm asking you in this moment to actually engage in the practice. Let me say this again. Nobody's watching you. We're not even live right now. You're watching this by way of a replay. But if you're literally at a place whereby your interest has been piqued, when you're saying like, man, that dude right there, the way that he's presenting, it's very interesting. And if you're glued in right now, my whole thing is commit fully. Don't just listen to me talk about this stuff. If there are opportunities for us to literally live into the practice right now, I need us to do that. And this is absolutely one of those moments. So part of mindfulness could be an ability to basically just use your breathing techniques or just breaths in general to stabilize yourself, to ground yourself. So when I do mindfulness practices, y'all, I close my eyes because right now it's almost as if you're not even here. It's just about me and being fully present and allowing myself to not be swayed or distracted by what happened before I came here or what's going to happen afterwards. But when I close my eyes, it's all about the moment and it's all about me. It's all about health, peace, good vibes only. See how I took that deep breath in, I held it and breathed, and then I breathed. I took a breath out. I want us to do that together a couple of times. So if your eyes aren't closed, I invite you to go ahead and close those eyes right now. I promise you, even as I'm doing this practice, certain weightiness that I felt maybe on my shoulders or my stomach area, different just hyperactiveness that is upon me because of what I'm doing right now. All of that stuff is just really being eased and alleviated. Listen, closing your eyes and taking breaths, this is something that you can automatically do at any particular point during the day to proactively get yourself in a place whereas you could ward off stress, keep that stress away from you, and or as you feel symptoms within your body that stress is hitting you or about to hit you, you can take some deep breaths. Let's take a couple together. We're going to breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Let's breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. One more time. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Now, for those of you who were willing to engage at the level of being fully present and fully here, I want you to notice how you feel. Hazelwood parents, notice how you feel. All right, we're going to blink and come back. I trust that that was a helpful experience, as it always is for me, for you all to commit to. All right, so another thing that we can commit to as we are wanting strategies to help us with our parenting, particularly in this digital age, is something that I'll call affirmations. All right, so affirmations are really key and important. It's simply an opportunity for us to find the good and to illuminate the good. It's so easy for us to see when things are not going right, when our kids are not engaging in virtual learning in the way that maybe they should. But what I'm saying is, because I know the power of a consistently confirming environment, is that if we can start to shift that, and even if we would challenge ourselves that anytime when I have to just kind of criticize or correct my kid, especially kind of correct them in a very firm way that might be interpreted as in a negative way, let me try to find, 2 or 3 affirming things that I can say about that person, about my kid as well. So let's just try to incorporate more affirmations into our environment. And if this was live, I would literally ask our parents to find ways that you can affirm other people who are in this space right now. So I want you to resolve that when you leave this space, that you are going to literally write down affirming things, ways that you can intentionally affirm your kid throughout the week. Matter of fact, hear this, because we're talking about adult SEL. Affirm yourself throughout the week. And watch, if you can resolve and commit to this practice of simply being more affirming, utilizing affirmation more than we utilize criticism or shame or anything else, I'm telling you, this will be transformative for your home. Now, another thing that we do as a part of our mentoring method is we have a monthly theme. So the monthly theme that I have with my work for this month is self-love. And this can be anything, right? I'm intentional to have themes that build out the 5 core competencies of SEL. And what I'll do some point, I'll talk about Castle if anybody wanted to kind of look up these 5 core competencies. I'm not going to get into it too much right now. But the monthly theme that I have this month is self-love. What monthly theme do you want to push in your household? Go ahead and raise that up. You and your kids have some conversation concerning what that theme means to them. Talk to them about it on a regular basis, at least once a week, right? And even in conversation, what you'll start to find is those things that you all talk about, you'll be now more sensitive to actually do practices that align with the things that you're discussing. So be intentional to have conversation surrounding some of the things that you all want to see more of in your household. One of the things that's very helpful for my own household is that we try to intentionally have core values that drive our lives. And, every quarter for us, we raise up, this is the core value we're going to focus on right now. Being disciplined, being optimistic, right? So those are just kind of 2 that flow with what we live into. Come on, can your family and your household have themes that you all raise up, and as a family commit to actually having conversation about these things and really talking through what does it look like for us to be a family that loves ourselves so that we can be better positioned to love each other. All right, the next thing that I want to raise up as an offering as a part of the SEL Mentoring Method is this word incentive. All right. And then I just want to go ahead and put inspect what you expect. All right, so back to incentive really quickly here. Find ways to incentivize when your family is actually doing what it is that you all talked about. So if you all talked about that for that particular month, that we're going to really be committed and focused on self-love. When you catch your kids living into what y'all discussed under this monthly theme of self-love, be like, oh, I see you killing it right there, right? Maybe you might even want to have tangible incentives, because either verbally or when you give gifts that are tied to what you want to see more of, what is that called? Positive reinforcement, right? So many of us are always doing gift giving that is just tied to whatever it's tied to. It's tied to them nagging and asking us for these Jordans. It's tied to them just, for whatever reason we're doing gift giving or we're giving affirmations. What I'm saying is that you want to get the most bang for your buck. So if you're already having a mode of gift giving and gift sharing in your family, let's tie this monthly theme in with it as well, so that people kind of understand that, hey, I see you. You know what I'm saying? I recognize that you're really trying to be a person that's actually exercising the strategies and the tools of self-love that we talked about in our home, right? And either, once more, verbally, that has power in itself by you to just monitor your words that you're using and specifically let your kids know when you catch them being on point. But like I said, if you want to put some little coin with that, or if you want to have other gift giving that's tied to your monthly theme, that really helps for this theme to be something that has more power beyond just talking about it. So some type of incentive or gift giving. So activation, activity, and then team building. All right, so with the activation activity, basically that's the part of this mentoring method that says, we want to take the monthly theme beyond just talking about it. So I mean, you can think of a myriad of different ways that you can use some of these examples of what I'm going to show momentarily to live out this monthly thing. Like, for instance, you might want to do poetry. You might want to do like some type of dramatization. You might, which is also role playing. You might want to do like, it's like poetry, but you might want to do like a song or a rap that you're empowering your young people to create, to really like express what self-love means to them. You can draw pictures. You can write not just necessarily poems, but you could just write out thoughts, right? I'm just going to type it how it came to my mind. You can write out your thoughts that you have about self-love, and then you all can share out what it was that you wrote. Listen, these practices are practices that we use in the school arena. There's no reason why you can't use these things to bring life to the digital world that your kids find themselves in, right? Like, how amazing could it be if after a school day, and especially if they can anticipate this, it's just like, man, we're about to have some fun family time, and you bring spice to that family time, not only just talking about that monthly theme, doing affirmations, maybe doing some mindfulness together, but you figure out what's a kind of cool activity that can activate this theme within your family. Y'all can do, like I said, have poetry time, role playing, dramatization. Y'all can create, songs together or sing out songs that you think reflect self-love. I mean, we can make this thing pop in an amazing way. Oh, snap, I forgot to put dance in here. Further conversation, whatever works. You know your family better than I ever could. What if y'all did a self-love TikTok? That'll be off the chain. And that's something that speaks to what they love. Some of our young people love. All right, I'm almost towards the end of this mentoring method. I greatly appreciate you all's attention and attentiveness during this time. Once more, it is your boy from Chi-Town, Damian Howard, your adult SEL coach. The next component that's a part of our SEL mentoring method is team building. So, like for instance, if I said 1, 2, 3, and all of us said Hazelwood, 1, 2, 3, Hazel, like even in us just saying that, you understand, that brings a type of energy to that space. Maybe y'all had like a little handshake. You have a little handshake. That's what you got special with your kid. You understand? Tie that team building type of engagement thing that you do to your monthly theme. So if you have like a SEL time or a family connection time whereby y'all talk and y'all utilize some of these strategies for your well-being and your family's wholeness and your family's unification, don't just break it when you're done. Like, have some level of 1, 2, 3, Hazel, break, handshake, hug, something that's saying we in this thing together. Oh, y'all don't see that Wakanda for life? Hold on. I think it's left over right. Come on. Wakanda. I don't care what y'all, maybe your team building thing is Wakanda. All right. And then lastly, inspect what you expect. What is so critical and key in a school arena is that we are using data to drive all of our decision making, which means that if I want grades to go up, that means I'm gonna be looking at grades. If I want Damien to be a better student, that means that, okay, every week, every 2 weeks, I'm gonna look at how Damien is doing. Is he doing his homework? Is he still talking in class? That was my issue. I don't know what y'all, I was always talking in class. I'm going to inspect what I expect. Oh, I'm getting my voice back, y'all. Come on. So let's do that in our house as well. If you wanted more self-love, come on. Who's the first person and the foremost being that I need to inspect myself? I don't want to be hypocritical. I'm going to still give myself grace and room because I ain't perfect, but I don't want to be hypocritical. If I'm going to be a leader in my home environment that is raising up these monthly themes from this day forward, so as we are parenting in a digital world, we're now utilizing these simple strategies to bring a unique peace and increase fulfillment and increase unification into our home environment. That means that I want to implement and practice this, right? Before somebody has to remind me or tell me that I'm off. And by the way, y'all know how our kids are. They'll be the first, you talking all this self-love stuff, but I don't see self-love in the way that you was just saying, what you just said. You're doing all of this self-love, but what about your love for me? You just cussed me out. You just smacked me upside. You know, they'll be the first one to point it out. That's what I'm saying right now. You got to have some grace with yourself, right? Because parents, we're not going to get this thing right all of the time, but we're working. And the fact of the matter is we don't have to overly explain ourselves to them, but let's not lie to ourselves. Let's not lie to ourselves. If we're going to be the people that's pushing this stuff so that we can be better parents in this digital world and be aspiring always towards increasing our parenting ability for the sake of our kids and their future, I'm going to inspect what I expect, which means that first and foremost, I'm going to look inside, but then also I'm going to challenge them, right? If I hear them using language of defeat as it pertains to this stuff, guess what? No, you're more than a conqueror. You're above only, not beneath. You understand? Like, you're a leader. Sometimes I just grab my daughter's head. You understand? I'll be like, you're a leader. You're a leader. I give her a couple kisses and I say, get on about your business. Why do I do that? I'm inspecting what I expect, right? I'm seeing if she believes that she's a leader and or if she just thinks that this is rhetoric and language that her dad is espousing because I think it's cool or I think it's what she should be doing or who she should be. I'm going to inspect, is she actually embracing and living into leadership practices? And if she is or if she is and or if she isn't, since I inspect what I expect, we're going to talk about it. And most of the times when we talk about it, I'm strategically finding ways to implement, affirmations into the conversation so that she can know it's not about beating you down. It's not about shaming you right now. Everything that we're doing, all of what we're talking about is all about supporting you and building you up. Now, before I close, did y'all have a good time? Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy yourself during this professional development? Did you uniquely get some nuggets and uniquely have an opportunity and experience when you watch this playback that was like no other thing that you've watched with other parenting stuff? If that is the case, just go ahead and give your own self a round of applause for engaging and sticking with this thing like you did. It's the last time I'm gonna say it, y'all. Damian Howard is the adult SEL coach, which means I got to remind you before I get out of here, I want you to be utilizing these strategies so that you can grow into being the best version of yourself. I want you to be able to live your best life. And in order for you to live your best life, I need you to be mindful. I need you to be reflective. I need you to use mindfulness strategies to get yourself in a place of stability so you're not all over the place, so that you are the puppeteer and not out here dangling as somebody else's puppet, that they can always pull your strings. No, take back your strings, take back your reins, and use mindfulness, right? To be reflective, show yourself those ways that maybe you're missing it so that you can start to make progress towards getting it right. Can you resolve to be more affirming towards yourself and towards others? Can you start incorporating into your family dynamic a monthly theme, something that on a regular basis we're going to raise up so that we can challenge ourselves to be better in these areas? Can you be intentional about incentivizing whatever that theme is? Can you start incorporating, to spice up this whole conversation, activation activities? Maybe even yourself, you can get to a place where you're writing more, doing more poetry to be reflective upon whatever your theme is in your own life. Doing some role playing or self-talk in your own mind, right? Getting yourself right as it pertains to whatever that theme is, empowering yourself. Don't forget team building. Don't forget to inspect what you expect, and it all starts with you first. I hope that reminder was helpful. I hope that these simple tools and strategies that are a part of the SEL Mentoring Method help you to understand that this is the type of stuff that we do in schools. This is the type of stuff that we present to your kids. But now you got a coach saying, this is the type of stuff that I want you to do in your own life as well. Because I want you to be the strongest, most empowered, most excellent, making progress towards being the best version of yourself. And in order for us to keep trekking in that direction, we got to make sure that we're doing our best to get rid of the yuck. All of us got some yuck that's in there. Get rid of the yuck, get the yuck out of our emotional cup and start putting more good vibes, more good energy, more good fuel into that cup. Yo, It's your boy, Damian Howard. I'm so thankful for this opportunity. Let me know in the future if I could be a further service to you all. I am the adult SEL coach. Oh, before I get out of here, I'm not going to do that little salutation thing anymore because I did it already. But boys. All right, sometimes our young people, our boys can present themselves as, too hard for engagement and connectivity. I just want to provide a quick affirming word, a quick clarifying word at the end of this. Please don't give up. Please don't give up on our boys. You never know what it is that they're going through, the silent struggles and the silent challenges that they are embracing and having to deal with, sometimes in isolation because they don't feel like they can talk to you. Especially some of our boys of color, it's just like, man, so much of what they're seeing tells them that the world is against them. They need people in their house and nobody else that they know who are absolutely for them. And how, right, can they know that you're for them if they can't even embrace you and be real with you, what's on their hearts? So very simply and succinctly, please don't give up on our boys. If they're not ready to connect, come on, can you retreat maybe in that moment and come right back the next day? And not come back again, shaming them, telling them who they're not, beating them down. They get enough of that already. They need relationship. They need connectivity. They need trust. They need a safe space whereby they can have conversations that talk about self-love. And for them to know that in those moments, it's not about criticizing. It's not about bashing. It's not about downing. But the posture that you have and the way that you're showing up is to support them and build them up. Come on, y'all. Our boys need to be built up. If we're expecting them to be future kings and to now crown them as the prince, crown them as princes, they need to feel, right, the mentoring capabilities from nurturing adults. And who is that person that's around them the most, that has the most sway and impact in their lives? It's you. It's a parent. So many of us, right, didn't have those strong parenting figures when we were growing up. Let's not perpetuate that. Let's create different dynamics for our boys. Some of them are so fragile. And in their fragility, they present themselves as so hard. Come on. Can we, through our love and through our relational connectivity, start to navigate through some of that external hardness and get to the inside by consistently showing up and sometimes retreating when they're not ready, but coming right back the next day, coming right back even in a couple of hours and asking, are you ready to connect? You feel like talking right now? You feel like connecting right now? You got something you want to say? I'm just here to listen. All right. Don't give up on our boys. That's all I got to say, y'all. Damian Howard, the Adult SEL Coach. Peace out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for watching the playback. Peace out.